Hey everybody, it's Kelly, and I'm going to just do a flip through of my 2016 holiday daily because I started it on Thanksgiving, not December 1st. This is probably my favorite cover I have ever made. I just love this. I took buttons and flare and just put them on the edge where the chipboard and the fabric met on this Simple Stories holiday album. And this really is one of their Christmas albums because it's 2 inches. You can see I have my 2015 album here. So this is the 2-inch binder. There's the 1.5 inches. That's why I love these, especially if you're doing a longer December daily. If you're going the 1st through the 25th, that's not usually too bad, but if you go more than that, it can get a little unwieldy. So I just did 2 different fonts in thickers, and then this down the middle took before I finished those buttons, I did, or put them on, I had laid them out, I put this doily on to back this. It's really simple, but it's fun, and it was a great way to use up some Christmas items and also some of my regular stash, because I do blend some of my regular stash in as well. So I'm just going to do a walkthrough for you here. I added some stickers on the front of my back of my front cover here that I don't always do, but sometimes I do. In this case, I did. Then to start this book out, because I thought this was kind of an interesting page, I actually just put a printed Transparency of Stars with a little doily and the acrylic Merry Christmas there, just because this is kind of boring. It's, you know, making mashed potatoes and the backs of some friends as they got some dinner ready this year. My family was not in town, so I had some dinner with some really good friends. 4 3x4 cards, enamels. I do a number for every day. Now that I start on the 1st of December, it's really easy because that number coordinates with whatever date it is. Here it was harder. But I vary those. I don't necessarily do the same ones all the time. The interesting things here is I'm using some wood veneer here, and these are the periods from an alphabet, and I just use them to decorate the tree, and then just as like almost enamel dots. A little wood veneer card here, and then the 3 here for the date is actually the trunk. This is, I like to sometimes back things with washi tape, so that's what this is. I mentioned this in one of my last ones that I've started putting the thicker stuff on the outside. So if I have like thicker wood veneers, in this case it's an acrylic piece that's pretty thick. I think, can you see how thick? That's pretty thick. The cards will slide out. The other thing that I do most of the time too is I tend to glue, once I have the second spread, like the back of the spread, I glue the 2 cards together. So that prevents a lot of shifting as well too in the book. Just some enamels. This is an enamel heart that's from my regular stash. These 2 are, I know. A lot of the paper and the cards here are Elle Studio. I had started using Elle Studio in I think 2014. I did use one of the Simple Stories. I don't know if they still make these anymore, but this is like a 4x6 flip. You could now do something similar, I'll bet, with your, oh, I can't think of what it's called, but the We Are Memory Keepers tool, where you can make pockets and that kind of stuff. So I do tend to do that. I especially do it if I'm using sequin pockets. So what this is it's how I decorated my room for Christmas this year. So that's what this is, a little bit of a cluster here, and just opening this up to more photos. That's not a particularly exciting photo, so I just thought it was kind of a nice way. And then the journaling is behind there, so I'll do that sometimes. Again, thicker pieces on the outside here. In this particular case, the number is on the acrylic, so that's actually really thick. Kind of nice. There's, you know, this acrylic here, just announcing that it is December here. Little tag for journaling just on this little strip. I don't think they make this 2 4x4 with the little piece here arrangement anymore in Simple Stories, but I love those for my 4x4 photos. Now I think if I have a 4x4, I just do it on a 4x6 and you know, just put it on a piece of paper. Doing a little shopping here at a local store, or local-ish store to me. And this basically, I don't have patterned paper. It's all just what it is and a little die cut here. This is, again, I'm doing some more shopping here, and just a little cluster here with my journaling. This is a little card from a restaurant that we had dinner at, this dinner here. So it was a book club for one of my friends. So I have this metal piece. This was from Michael's at the time that says "Eat, Drink, and Be Merry." And I just bought it knowing I'd probably use it at some point during the season. So we went to a Christmas market and then to a really lovely dinner at one of my favorite Italian restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants, much less Italian restaurants. Here it had snowed, so an acrylic snowflake. This is on the outside again with a little doily behind it. I like to put doilies in, and the doily usually, because it's too big, I let them fall off the page. I just like to do that even if I have room for them. I like to get some see-through or items you can pick kind of see through partially at least. So I put a piece of vellum here so you can kind of see through to the next page. It's not that exciting, so that's why I use the vellum there, but kind of telling the story of a present from a friend. She gave me this amazing, I have to see if you can see this. This is a chocolate bar from France, and all of those things on the bar are edible, you guys. It was crazy. It was also delicious because I did actually eat it eventually. All right, so this is a new sign that I bought this year that says joy. That was my word for the year in 2016, and I still use this today. This is my Christmas card. I do try to put my card in every year, and in this case, there's nothing in it other than what the card is, so I just punched holes in it and put it in. And then it sits on, when I first did this, I remember it was just sitting on top of the next day, and I didn't like it, so I just put this little vellum in and just this little piece, so now it sits kind of on its own. Nothing on the back of this, just left it like it is. This is just a list, and it said naughty or nice, so I put enamel dots by each thing there. And then this is a picture of my cards being done. So the naughty or nice was the things that I was doing. Then here, more baking again. Couple little buttons and that kind of stuff. This is something I do every year. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably know this. I document my wrapping paper and my wrapping process every year. So what I did here is there's a small piece of my wrapping paper in this bag, and then all the receipts for everything I bought are in there as well. Now they probably won't last forever. You could color copy them if you wanted to. I didn't because I just want to save them. At least they've got a place if somebody needs to return a gift. Little wood veneer cluster here. I also do this every year. I've talked about this in previous videos. I keep a list of things on my phone for what I'm buying, and then in the end I print a copy of that. So it's clustering that and that kind of thing. And then here's another little Micah. Micah's my grandson's name. He's at the top there. Another little metal piece there, and then the pile of gifts that are wrapped here. And I just put it over the top of that because who cares if you really see the whole thing? It's just nice that that's done. This is a special thing we do where I work, where we do a Christmas celebration. So that's just documenting different things with that. And there's some little heart pearls here, which are just from my regular stash. Sometimes I will take, this is a piece of lined journaling paper. It's a 12 by 12 sheet. So I just cut a 4 by 6 piece and then use some washi tape to make it look more like a journaling card. Again, more vellum here, some candy striped vellum. This case I have a die cut and a couple puffy stickers on it just to make it, you know, be a little prettier. The reason I did that is the stuff behind it I wanted to include, but it wasn't all that pretty. So we did a bakery tour of Milwaukee, and so this is kind of like the stuff that we got, kind of talked about some of the places and that kind of stuff. And then a picture of me, my sister, and my mom, and then some of the cookies at one of the bakeries. This is a almost, not completely 6 by 8 page here. What I did is I scrapbooked. So this is a 6x8 piece of paper. I didn't tell you this. And then I did like a 4x6 and 2 3x4s on it. And then on the back side, it's like a full side with a little bit of documentation there. So sometimes I'll make a scrapbook page within my December daily book, documenting a really cool ornament that makes me a little sad to look at, because these are my high school friends in my book club, and 2 of the women on this ornament are gone, which is really sad. Not gone, they've passed away. So that's kind of crazy. But one of our friends just gave us that. Sometimes we do that where we'll find something and we love it and we'll just give it to each other. So that will make me, I'm going to decorate my tree tonight and tomorrow. And so I'll come across that, and I'm sure I'm going to get a little misty this year. All right. Some more 4x4s. This is just like a funny piece I saw that says, "Don't mind me, I'll just be over here crying, crafting, and watching Hallmark Christmas movies," because it's some of the things I love to do. Here I'm documenting December 15th, 2016. It was 5 degrees below zero. That's a little cold for that time of year for us. It's actually a little cold for us, but we get that kind of weather sometimes in January and February, not usually December. So just documenting that. This is a flare badge, and you know the really sad part about this flare badge is it's rusting right through. I think this was an October afternoon one, but I'm going to leave it on. It actually almost looks kind of artful, like I intended to do that. Snowflakes, I've talked about this before. If you can get wood veneer snowflakes, hearts, that kind of stuff, they go a long way. Trees. Here's flare again too, and then so we had that freezing cold, and then we got dumped on with snow. It was that was a crazy snowstorm. I think we had about 8 inches of snow. It was completely nutty. And here I am documenting that I had worked that day, the next day, and then a friend and I met for lunch. I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. And on my way home, the second round of snow started. So I did actually stop, you guys, and take this picture. This is a little back road that I take. I love it. It's so pretty. And so I stopped quick because nobody was around me, took the picture out my window, and, you know, went on my way. Here I have a picture of the menu from the internet, and I starred what I ate there with a puffy star. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Here we are celebrating a Packers victory that day, and then my brother, I think, made us came over and made us some nachos and that kind of stuff. So that was kind of fun. This is documenting some presents that clients bought me, or that I bought with money from presents or from clients. This is really gorgeous. I have a client who has 3 years in a row. Now I haven't seen one for this year bet, but I'm guessing I'm going to get one. He makes me a wood ornament. It's amazing. It's so cool when I see that every year. And again, this is documenting some more of those presents from clients here. This is my first attempt at a shaker pocket. And in this particular case, or not my first attempt, I've done it before. I think I sewed this one. Yes, I did. I didn't have my We Are Memory Keepers tool yet. So I just sewed this. What I did here is I stuck some stickers down, and then this is like a die cut glitter thing, and then put some sequins in. So that's how I did that one. So I like to stick things into the pocket somewhere, because otherwise you everything moves to the bottom and nothing stays. This kind of prevents stuff from moving to the bottom. So a little flare here. I'm clustering, journaling in my cluster. So there's more, you know, I don't just journal on a card. Sometimes I'll cluster a bunch of labels and that kind of stuff together and do that. And it's mixed in even with the date there. And then here, this is 4x4, but I shrunk the picture down of, these are my 2 cats, and it says naughty or nice. And I can tell you he's naughty, and, well, actually they're both naughty. Never mind. Anyway, just a little joke for myself there. Here's the back side of that. And what I did is, you can, if you really look closely, you can see that I glue dotted that to it, whatever. I'm documenting an ornament that I bought for myself. I usually buy one of those a year. And I just actually did buy mine this year, and I have not documented that, so I've got to do that now that I think about it. Some home decor here, so a little fa la 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 and a little deck the halls. So if I do a new kind of thing in the house, I'll sometimes just document that. And sometimes I just document things I have before. I'm making sugar cookies here, so I've got some cute little acrylic gingerbread men. This is a sleeve from a coffee that I had. So just putting that down, that, you know, I had this yummy eggnog latte, although I probably wouldn't drink that now because it would be too sweet for me. I changed how I ate. Well, I guess I had already this year, so, but it must have been a big treat. That's all I can say. Here's just a piece of vellum to separate the next pictures, and that's because the next bunch of pictures is very busy, so it would have been two very busy spreads on top of one another. And this kind of also gives this little piece there kind of a nice thing to rest on, and I did add those acrylic stars too. Okay, so these are my two grandsons getting their Christmas presents, and there are now two more children in this family, but this was a couple years ago, so we're documenting what they got. Oh my gosh, I forgot I gave him this. I have something very similar at my house that they love to play with, so how fun is that? All right, so there's that, and then I was babysitting him that night, so I took pictures of us together and him squeezing the life out of his poor brother. This is Christmas Eve, so I documented what I took, and just kind of a big picture of my family here, my extended family. And again, not 4x6 because I took a phone photo of here, so I just put it on a piece of 4x6 paper that I cut to 4x6. Did the same thing here. This is now our Christmas celebration the next day on December 25th. So you're seeing that appear in some flair and die cuts and that kind of stuff. Here's my, there's an acrylic star here with the number of the actual day in the book that this is. This is a 3x4 card, but I did add a die cut just to do something a little bit different. I actually just decorated with these a minute ago. That was a Christmas present from somebody, or a few minutes ago. This is documenting some of the things that I found for myself the day after Christmas. That sometimes happens, right? So that's what this is. I had been out day after Christmas shopping, so there's that. This is, I used a couple of these in my 2015 book, and you might have seen these. So it's a bingo card from an Old American Crafts collection, and I like to just add them in because it's something a little bit different. And here I just added some stars and some dots, just around, not anything in particular. Well, I guess it is kind of meaningful now that I see it because it says gifts here. Gifts to myself, naughty or nice. Was it naughty or nice for me to do that? And then this one is just what I wanted. So I guess meaningful. I left the black blank on this. This is just a piece of specialty die cut paper that I put in to separate here because this was very pink and blue, and this is my Christmas tree, so I wanted it to be green and red. So this is a 6x8 page here that I just put a larger photo on. Scrapbooked that. Backside 6x8 again, picture of my close-up of my nativity. And my nativity this year I took a picture of as well because it moved to a different spot. So like I said, I like to document that. Added a couple sequins in here. And then this is just some of the things that I was doing at the time. My oldest grandson has a birthday not too long after Christmas, so I actually bought him his birthday present this day. I like to do that often during the Christmas season because I have a lot of toys and that kind of stuff available. If I wait until right before his birthday, that's not always true. All right, so just playing with cats here. I think they got a special little toy from me. This is a Christmas card that a friend of mine made for me. So when somebody makes me cards, I like to get them in my book for that year, or if I get a special card. This is, nobody made this card for me, but it was such a beautiful special card. I kept that, and it's just, I put it on some paper, 6x8 paper. Sometimes I'll punch into them, just kind of depends. This is just some fun that we were having on New Year's Eve this year. Or this particular year. And again, so I was with my nephews, and now my nephews and their wives. I think I was looking at a picture from the previous year in one of my previous videos, and they weren't married yet. And these are the parents of my my great nephew here. So my sister and brother-in-law, and then their 2 boys and their 2 wives. And then me with my 2 nephews who now just dwarf. I'm dwarfed compared to them. It's kind of crazy when I look at that, because I used to, you know, change their diapers. You know, that's what happens when they grow up, right? Anyway, and then here is just January 1st. I talked a little bit about what I did this day, but I didn't do anything super special that I took a picture of. I did talk about what my word is here, and then just a little Happy New Year on some glitter paper. This is a printable calendar that I got off the internet for December and that year, and then I just put down, like, if I did something more significant on those the days, I wrote down what it was. You can tell days I work a lot of times because I don't have a lot going on. So that's 2016, guys. Hope you're all well, and make sure you check out my December daily playlists. I do have, as of when I'm doing this right now, I have videos a day of my December daily pages for 2017 and 2018, and very shortly I'll be doing them for 2019. Hope you guys are all well. Bye.